I'd like to call tonight's meeting of the Lower Macungie Township Board of Commissioners to order. If we could all please stand for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ow. I'm in a bad spot here. Okay, for the roll call, everyone is here that's supposed to be here with the exception of Commissioner Beitler. There are no agenda modifications this evening. Announcements and presentations. There was an executive session prior to this meeting to discuss land acquisition. Item 6, hearings and approval. 6.1, consideration of retaining Randolph Clark LLC as special counsel to the township in opposition of the Dan Weber conditional use application. Mr. Solicitor.
If you were, no.
There you go.
Modern technology. If you recall at the last hearing, there was an objection raised by counsel for Dan Weber, Evan Fogarty, that Eastburn and Gray, who had been retained as special counsel, had a conflict. I researched it without going into the details. I concluded that there was enough of a conflict or appearance of conflict that they shouldn't be representing the township in this case. So Rudolph Clark is sort of the second list, if you will. It's a Montgomery County-based firm that basically only practices municipal law. I was able to try a case with Greg Oleniak 2 years ago. He'd be the one that'd be here. He's a good lawyer, young, but a very good lawyer. So,
and just for clarity and more for public understanding, this is an attorney that would actually be representing the rights of the citizens in opposition to the conditional use for this property.
Actually, he's representing the township, and I remain as solicitor to represent the commissioners. Make the decision. So
okay.
Yes, he's representing the citizens because he's
Representing the township.
The township.
Gotcha.
Correct.
Okay.
Move to approve with a not to exceed price of $25,000 unless authorized by the subsequently authorized by the Board of Commissioners.
Okay. I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Thank you. 6.2, Resolution 2024-16, approving the request of 6776 Hamilton Hospitality Group, LLC, to transfer liquor license R-14010. Mr. Solicitor.
So if you remember, also at the last stated meeting, we had a hearing to consider the transfer of a liquor license to, and the company's name is 6776 Hamilton Hospitality Group, LLC. There were some comments, and there were also very interest from the commissioners. So we sat down as a staff afterwards to prepare some conditions. We went over those conditions with Mr. Berger, who represents 6776 Hamilton Hospitality Group. There were a couple of conditions which he thought were not appropriate. After discussing with staff, we removed them. So what's in front of you is a resolution approving the transfer and a set of conditions which should have Exhibit A at the top. The ones that were at your dais earlier were the wrong. And that's my apology, Renee, that was my fault. Anyway, so these are the conditions. There are 7.
And just for the record, I'll read the conditions into the record, more for public information than anything else. The first condition is applicant shall comply with testimony and exhibits introduced into evidence at the liquor license transfer hearing held March 7th, 2024. Condition 2, the restaurant bar hours of operation inside shall be Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Condition 3, outdoor patio service of food and beverage shall be limited to 30 patrons and shall cease no later than 9 p.m. Monday through Wednesday and on Sunday. Outdoor patio service of food and beverage shall cease no later than 10 p.m. Thursday through Saturday. Condition number 4, all outdoor music, including both live and recorded, shall cease no later than 9 p.m., 7 days a week. Condition 5, live music shall be limited to an acoustic guitar. Item 6, no bar, permanent or temporary, shall be installed or used in the outdoor patio area. Condition 7, these conditions of approval are binding on successors and assigns. Applicant shall prepare and record to the satisfaction of the township solicitor a declaration of covenants and restrictions memorializing these conditions of approval.
Move to approve with the conditions as read.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. 6.3, Resolution 2024-17, approving an agreement with Emmaus Aquatic Club for pool services. Mr. Vital.
Thank you. We have before you this evening for your consideration, the annual agreement for EMAC to operate the township pool that's located on this campus. The amount's $135,637. There's also a provision for uniform allowance.
Okay.
Move to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Mr. Vital, how does this in any way differ from previous year's agreements or other than,
There is one item, the liability insurance was decreased from 10 million to 5. Other than that, this agreement has been the same throughout.
okay. Are there any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Item 6.4, sewage facility planning module for the Valley at Indian Creek Land Development, 3510 McCungy Road. Mr. Jones.
Board members, this one's quite simple. This project has been approved. Land development was approved quite some time ago. They finally are coming in with their sewage facility planning module to be approved by DEP. It's for the 22 single-family homes at the corner of McCungy Road and Indian Creek Road across from the Lichtenwalner Farm. The whole project rests on about just under 12 acres. But again, this is procedural as the land development's already approved, not yet recorded, awaiting recording, but the board approved it quite some time ago. So this is something that is been waiting to be received for quite some time. Normally we do it at the same time, but it just needs your vote so it can go off and go further on the steps to get their allocation for these lots.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Resolution 2024-18, approving appointment of John Parrish Jr. as Special Fire Police. Mr. Vital.
Thank you. We received this request from the fire department as per normal policy. Did come with a recommendation of the fire police captain to recommend Mr. Parrish act and serve as a special fire police officer. This acknowledges that officially and allows him to perform those duties under the law.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Item 7, public comment on non-agenda topics. Is there any public comment on non-agenda topics? Seeing none, we will move forward to communication. Mr. Vital.
Thank you. We have 3 items this evening. The first two, Mr. Hance and Ms. Fadulo, both expressed concerns about 6300 Lower McCungy Road. And then item 8.3, we included the Macungie Ambulance 2023 Annual Report.
Okay, thank you very much. Item 9, appointments to various boards, committees, and commissions. There aren't any this evening. Item 10.1, approval of minutes from March 7th, 2024.
Move to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 11, approval of transfers, bill list, and payroll. Mr. Beidle.
Thank you. We have the following for your consideration. The general fund, $1,157,225.12. The sewer fund, $7,609.63. The solid waste fund, $4,889.73. The capital projects fund, $218.79. The open space fund, $1,200. The payroll, $156,525.98. Developer escrow, $45,758.83. For a total of all funds, $1,373,428.08.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions?
Yeah, I have.
Yes, sir.
Included in the general fund expenditures is almost $1 million in liquid fuels being transferred and shouldn't, so to indicate that that's a inter-fund transfer, shouldn't there be a credit of $1 million under liquid fuels?
Not as you see on this report. We reflect that in the monthly financials, that contribution went in there. That is the direct contribution for the state. The bank account that they deposit that to is a general fund linked bank account. So we must transfer those receipts over to that fund. So it does not show on this agenda as that, but that's how it's marked in the other component.
Okay.
Any other commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And as always, for the public's knowledge, our full bill list can be found on our website. Okay, departmental matters, engineering. Mr. McAdam.
I have nothing to report tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you. Any questions for the engineer? Okay. 12.2 planning, Mr. Jones.
Yeah, just two security releases for the board this evening. Our first is for the Bite Simca project, which is right off Hamilton Boulevard on Grange Road. The proposal following review and approval by the township engineer is a release of $150,405. There would be a remaining $122,740 in the final count to be confirmed. And we did note that with the final amount that remains, there was a little bit off, but following review by the township engineer and township solicitor, that would not be something that we need to be concerned with regarding this release, as we do have an active letter of credit with Link Bank from the applicant since they switched to a new letter of credit holder.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. 12.2.2, Resolution 2024-20, security release for Posh Properties.
Yep, this is for the Posh Properties project, the self-storage and the Kitty Academy off Charcoal Drive. We'll be releasing $112,344. Following inspections, there would be $134,907 remaining. And we are hoping that we can get that project closed out sooner rather than later with the amount of work they've completed.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Are there any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, anything else, Mr. Jones?
Nothing else for the board this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Solicitors report, Solicitor Bruman.
Nothing this evening, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for the solicitor? Okay, 12.4 Township Manager, Mr. Beidle.
Thank you. I just have two items this evening. The first, 12.4.2, approving the contract for the pool coping project. As the board's aware, we did budget $35,000 in the capital projects fund this year to complete the upgrades to the concrete coping section around the top of the pool. We engaged the Gordian Group, who was part of a purchasing network, to complete that work. As part of this, we found after quoting the job, the numbers to come back at $49,248.53. As this is above the budgeted amount that we had discussed in front of the board, as necessary that we have you consider a resolution that would authorize us to complete this work, knowing that we are above those budgeted amounts. We anticipate that this will be completed before the beginning of the pool season.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Mr. Beidle continues.
I thank you. Just for the record, as we mentioned at every meeting, the solicitor and staff continue to work on the trash service contract. We will see that draft early next week internally so that we can continue to make any adjustments or feedback necessary. Always want to mention this so that the residents are aware. The township continues to expect and anticipate an increase in garbage rates that could be fairly significant. We want to make sure that we mention it at every meeting so that the public and the ratepayers are aware that they may see this in our final quarter billing for the year. The current contract does expire August 31st. So we would look to have something in place so that we are ready with that. So I'd like to give an update and continue to give that so the public, if they're tuning in, is aware of what we're facing with solid waste removal. So unless there's any questions for me, that's all I have.
Nope. Any questions? Okay. Moving forward, item 13, other business. Is there any old business to discuss this evening? Seeing none, is there any new business? Item 14, Board of Commissioner reports. The next board workshop is March 25th, this upcoming Monday at 6 p.m. The next regular board meeting is April 4th at 6 p.m., which, by the way, is my wedding anniversary, so must make that quick because my wife will not be happy. But she hasn't been happy for 26 years, so I don't, why would that change? All because of me. It's all my fault.
I do
I
know
learned
this
it.
is being taped.
Yes, well, it's all my fault, David. It's been my fault for 26 years. Actually been my fault for 29 years. I've just been official for 26.
How
There,
many phone calls she's gonna get?
she'll say, yes, it's all his fault. There is no executive session following this meeting, and with that, we are adjourned.
Good night.
Good night, Brian.